Welcome to Synthaholics. This is your host, David Duncan, and with me is...
Brian. Hey, David. How you doing
Hey,
there?
doing good.
Doing good there.
Hoping that the Twitch gods won't eat and destroy this episode, because there is a mythical unreleased episode if this ends up making it to our regular
Scheduled programming.
scheduled programming. Yes, we did an episode on Obi-Wan Kenobi. We both landed on the opinion that it was way better than Book of Boba Fett, but still like pretty good. It was okay, not great, not terrible, just kind of like smooth sailing down the middle of that highway.
Right down the middle. We're not in the passing lane. We're not in the slow lane. We're right in the middle of it.
No, we're straddling the line.
We're straddling the line?
Yeah, we're straddling the line with our car. Yeah, that's kind of how Obi-Wan felt. There were some good parts and some odd parts, and mostly, why don't they just make sure the person you stab is dead? Just, stab him a couple more times.
Let's make sure. Get it in.
Just to make sure.
Thrust it in. Just thrust in and out real fast. Just
Yeah.
make sure.
Just give it to him good.
Yeah, just really give it to them good. Make sure they're okay.
Yeah, make sure you finish when you're stabbing someone.
You want to finish, of course. If
Yeah.
you don't finish, how do you know they're dead?
Yeah, how do you know they're dead?
You don't.
And do you feel good if you don't really know?
No, you're gonna be sad.
You will probably be sad whenever you don't clean up after yourself and make sure you do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You want to, You want to dispose of the body, make sure it's all good.
You can check out Red Letter Media's. It's actually kind of funny how many of their takes are very similar to ours.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
I didn't watch it.
We made jokes about like how Obi-Wan's watching a 10-year-old boy, and they did the same thing. It's like, yeah, I got to go creep on a 10-year-old boy. I mean, they said lots of things because they had a much longer. They had 2 one-hour episodes on it, so I mean they had a lot more to say, and there's 3 of them. But there was a couple. There's some overlap. I feel like we're of like mind with some of those guys at Red Letter Media, so love those guys.
Well, there is an unreleased episode that will never see the light of day.
Well, only 20 minutes of it exists.
There's 20 minutes that exist. The rest of it is gone, and we won't be able to release it either because we don't have it.
Oh yeah, and most of that 20 minutes is probably news. I think it ends on the boy joke that you said, just keep going, don't dwell on it. On the joke about Luke Skywalker as a kid or something. Yeah. So
who knows?
Who knows? No one will know because it won't come out. Because it's not complete.
Well, David, moving onwards.
Yes.
First off, we gotta talk about our news, man. Our news. David, you have news. Why don't you enlighten us?
Yeah, I have a little piece of news. It's just interesting. So the season finale of Stranger Things season 4, that 2.5 hour long medley. I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen tons of articles about it. And because Metallica, one of my favorite bands, is one of their songs is featured Master of Puppets.
Oh wait, hold on. So we're not spoiling the last episode of Stranger Things.
I'm just talking about the song.
That.
I'm just talking about the song. The song is played by Eddie, our lovely DM from the new season, and he plays Master of Puppets. The show takes place roughly a couple weeks after the album came out, so he was a true hero for learning the song before he went on the run. And earlier in the season. And unfortunately, this news, it's been a lot of Metallica gatekeepers, like discouraging people from liking the band because they're just liking it because of Stranger Things. I'm like, why would you discourage more people liking a great band? Like, if they like them, great. I'm excited more people are discovering Metallica's music. I mean, I would love to see more metal bands come out and less pop bands come out. That's my genre. Hey, I'm making my Megadeth shirt because my Metallica shirt is dirty. So I mean, I love Metallica. I'm glad their song was featured. It actually had a song featured in the previous season, a little bit of the Four Horsemen, I believe. From Kill 'Em All in the last season. So, I mean, it's nice to see Metallica show up in some things. Strangely enough, Jungle Cruise used a Metallica song, which was kind of strange considering that show takes place, hundreds of years before Metallica, exists. So
Wait, are Metallica fans only mad because their songs can only exist if it actually exists in like it has to be canon to real life?
it has to be canon. Yeah. Metallica guys are big on the canon. No, I think they're just it's just gatekeeping. It's like, oh, I was fan at the beginning, and therefore you can't be a fan now. Just dumb stuff like that. People should just embrace new fans
With open arms.
with open arms. And the thing is, it's not like it's a Saint Anger song, which Saint Anger was an awful album. That they're finding, Metallica now. This is Master Puppets. This is like when Cliff Burton was still alive, considered some of their greatest, stuff of that era. So I mean, like, why you'd be mad about people liking this stuff, I have no idea. So I don't know. Good job on you, Stranger Things, for having some Metallica in there. It's awesome. Good job on Metallica for welcoming all these new fans with open arms.
Thank you, Duffer Brothers.
Thank you, Metallica.
I got newses too. Newses.
Multiple newses.
So, quick one is there was a shooting in Japan with a prime minister or some political guy, and he ended up dying. And people are blaming Kojima for the shooting. And Kojima came out and said it's not him, obviously, and that they're going to start suing people that are saying that it's him after like it's clear that it wasn't him. But if you look at the picture of the shooter and Kojima, you could have fooled me.
He does look an awful lot like Kojima, so that's how it ties into geek news. Unfortunately, it's a bit sad.
Yeah, it's sad news, but
shot.
It is geek news, nerd news that I wanted to bring up. All right, moving on. I got another death.
Wow, Brian's all happy today.
Okay, so growing up, I was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't think you were, David. Yu-Gi-Oh might have been not like right when you were a kid, but big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh when I was growing up. Haven't played it or thought about it in, I don't know, 15 years.
Days.
It's been hours.
It's been days.
It's been minutes. But yeah, I haven't played in a long time. I did like the show. I used to play the card game, but unfortunately, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh passed away this past week, and it's sad to see because he made something cool. So sad to see him go, but as you live and you die, nobody lives forever. On to two more. I want to kind of get the two more deaths.
Two more murder suicides.
No, I don't got any more deaths, but those I just wanted to bring up. George R. R. Martin, our lovely Westeros man.
Oh no, did he die?
He did not die yet. Not yet. He came out and said he had a massive update for his next book that is probably never going to come out, but he did have a big update for it, saying that the writing is difficult. He's having a hard time figuring out what to do because of the show and his books. They don't line up at all anymore, and he's worried, fans might, be a little like, why is it not closer to the show? Why are the books so much different?
I don't want it to be closer to the show.
I don't either.
The show ended abysmally.
There'll be big changes from the show to the books. There'll be characters that live in the show and die in the books, and vice versa.
Good. I don't want it to be anything like the show, because the show's last season was
it was not good.
I wish I could unwatch it.
Well, yeah. I'm like trying to unwatch it. How'd you do that?
I wish I could unwatch it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I also waited like 3 years to watch it to see to let all the bad vibes simmer down, and it's like it was as bad as all the things I remember people saying about it. Like, yeah. I tried to let it go for just give it years before I watched. I watched it like not even a year ago, like 9 months ago, I think.
Well, this whole post that he does these blog posts. I think he calls it not a blog or something like that. I don't know what he exactly calls it, but this is a big update to his books. Probably the biggest update he's ever had.
It says the only thing I actually write anymore.
He's doing other stuff too. He's doing other stuff, but it's cool to see that maybe we'll get some. I feel like he only wrote this big blog post telling us like what's going on, kind of like what he's working on, because he just killed like a big character in the book, and he feels guilty, and he's like, I feel like something big happening in the book, like right now. I would like to know where he's at in the book if this book ever comes out. I'd like to know where he's at in it right now that prompted this blog post, because I think probably like Tyrion or something just died, and he's like, what do I say?
He just killed Bran.
He just killed Bran. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if that will ever get that into detail with what he's doing, but
Hodor kills Bran.
It may be. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happens, because he said they're going to be very different. So who knows what that means?
I mean,
more rape. There'll be more rape, more incest. Who knows?
Oh, he's going to make it dirtier than the show. I mean,
yeah,
more power to him. I mean, do what you want. Make it different, and make it not suck, please.
Well, I have faith that he will be able to write a good book. I mean, he's probably one of the best, if not like the best modern day fantasy author that's still alive.
I mean, he's pretty good. He used to be. He hasn't put out a book in like 2 decades.
Oh, yeah, that's true. In the past 10 years, he's definitely not, because he doesn't put out anything anymore.
When Brandon Sanderson has put out like 86 books in that same time period, right?
Yeah, I know, right? He's also good. Okay, so that was my book news. I like books, and George R. R. Martin writes good book. My last bit of news, my most favorite one, the biggest news for me.
The breast for last.
Release date. God of War, man. So, contrary to what all fans were saying, after fans were sending developers of the game dick pics, saying like, if I show you my dick, can you tell me the release date? But so Santa Monica Studios said, we condemn that, obviously, but that's how passionate these people are, which is kind of gross.
Do you think Alana Pierce got all those dick pics?
I'm sure she got a lot. I have no doubt she's probably leading the charge in how many she's got. I feel sorry for that.
She's working for Santa Monica, or she was last time I heard. I don't know if she's still
Yeah, that was the last I knew as well.
I
feel bad if I don't know what that would feel like to get somebody to send you a dick pic. I can't say anybody's ever done that to me. I don't know if I'd have I don't know. I don't even know what to think. I don't know what to think, if it's a good thing, if it's a bad thing, obviously. But yeah, let's move on.
What does Butcher think?
Butcher would probably come kill the person. That's what Butcher would do. But yeah, God of War, November 9th. It's not delayed like everybody said, even though the developer said it wasn't going to be delayed. November 9th. I'm excited.
Looking forward to it. Since Starfield won't be coming out November 9th. It would have been the 11th.
It would have been the 11th.
But it's still not coming out that week.
No.
Much to my sadness.
On to our bread and butter, our backgrounds. I want to talk about my background for a second here. I was contemplating on should I get a new background, because we've already talked about The Boys or not, but like this one has Stormfront in it right here. And we were going to kind of talk about season 2 as well, so I thought I would keep it. So that's the reason I got an older wallpaper.
Yeah, it's a season 2 wallpaper.
Homelander is still there, so like you can kind of put him in whenever.
yeah. Homelander is just there. Like, so we had high praise for season 1 of The Boys. I think we both gave it like an 8.5 or a 9. Like we gave it really high marks. Don't remember the number. Didn't write it down. Didn't go back and listen. I just know we gave it really high marks. We really loved season 1. Should we just go through and rate seasons 2 and then 3 back to back? Just get it out of the way. Want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. Why don't I go ahead? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, season 2, I think is probably my least favorite season. Now, least favorite doesn't mean I didn't like it at all. I really still like The Boys season 2. So, as much as because Stormfront did a good job at being a villain, even though the ultimate villain is Homelander, obviously, and always will be until he dies. That'll probably be the last episode of The Boys. But I'm gonna give it like an 8. I liked season 2 a lot. It just is not my favorite season. David. Oh wait, should I do season 3 too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Season 3. I this season was fantastic. The how many episodes are there? 8.
8.
8. 6 and 7 are the highest rated episodes of The Boys as a whole.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes,
I mean, I'm just telling. That's a fact. I'm not making that up. That they are statistically the highest rated 2 episodes.
They are.
So
great.
I did love this season. It was probably my favorite season until it wasn't my favorite season, and that is because of the finale. It was a little weak, and it kind of made the whole season kind of feel like a filler, which I understand we can talk about later why I feel that way. But I'm going to give this season an 8.5. 8.5.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to go with, to a point. I'm going to say I'm going to agree with an 8 for season 2. Not as good as season 1, but still pretty good. Because of the finale, I'm going to have to give season 3 a 7.5 instead of an 8. Like I feel like it's taking a step down every time. I agree. Those episodes 6 and 7 are probably the 2 best episodes of The Boys ever. So over the top and insane. But that last episode just kind of took the wind out of the season as far as like progression of anything goes. So, I mean, since we're talking about both seasons, there's an interesting theme that I noticed through both seasons. Like season 2, Starlight gets kicked out of the 7, and then she gets back in by the beginning of, by the end of season 2, and then is basically kicked out of the 7 again. It just feels like her character is like on a yo-yo. She just keeps like, in the first season she became part of the 7. In season 2 she gets kicked out of the 7. Then she's back in the 7. Then she's back out of the 7. And it looks like by the end of season 3 she's out of the 7 for good. But it just feels like people are kind of like treading water a little bit with the seasons. Like watching them back to back really makes season 3 feel like it's treading water a little bit. And that's my biggest problem with the show. It doesn't really feel like it's going anywhere. But
well, there's a reason for that. Yeah, I guess we'll nip this in the butt now. Season 3 felt like it was more of a filler season just because of the finale, the final episode. Yeah. But I mean, the reason is because if you kill Homelander, the show's done. You can't kill Homelander. This show's doing well enough where they need to keep doing seasons, and I'm more worried than ever that this is going to fall into, we're going to get like 8 seasons, and the last like 4 seasons are all going to suck because they're just filling them up to try to get that money in before they kill Homelander. Because I don't know about you, but once Homelander's dead, because that has to be where the show will end. Once he's dead, the show's done. I don't know what else you do.
Well, in the comic book, Huey and Butcher basically become the bad guys.
Well, I don't know much about that, but
so I mean I don't know if they're gonna follow the comic exactly. I know they're definitely taking departures from it with the show, and I agree they got to kill Homelander. But the thing is, we've also got like the head popper senator lady, who was established in season 2 as being also
but she's easy to kill.
She was also established as being a big bad, and like there was no really forward movement with getting rid of either one of them.
Well, season 2, she was introduced as the head popper. In the very last episode, that was when we found out that she was the head popper.
Yeah, the reveal. So like her power is a little bit inconsistent. At the beginning of season 3, she can't pop the guy's head unless she's looking directly at him. But in season 2, when she's running out of when everyone's heads are popping in the room, they're trying to get her out into safety. Heads keep popping when she clears the room.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how. I don't know. We don't really know exactly too much about much about her besides she can really pop heads. I guess. I mean, there probably is some inconsistency there.
It seems like season 3, she's got to have a line of sight to the person to pop their head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, up to interpretation, I guess, for that.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk about probably the greatest scene in The Boys. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I mean, there's a couple, so you'll have to.
What in season 2? What scene do you think I'm talking about?
In season 2, come
Come on, David, you got this.
Is it another the deep scene?
It is. The Deep is kind of in it. Yeah, he is kind of in it. Man, that was the same thing for season 1.
Yeah,
season 1, the Deep had a good scene too.
The deep, yeah, the best shot of season 1 was the deep and the dolphin. That was hilarious. What's your favorite for season 2?
The whale.
Oh
The
yeah,
whale scene.
yeah, the whale scene. That was also in the trailer. He just like runs the whale, like, and they run the boat right into the beached whale. He's trying to be proud on top of the whale, and God, like. It was always hinted at that that the Deep was super into fish because the scene with the dolphin and everything. But season 3 definitely takes the Deep to a whole new level. It feels like they saw Peacemaker and wanted to like,
Just ramp it up.
just
Ramp it up.
It's like because they say he like screws fish at the end of the Flash says he screws fish. Like, no, I don't. It's like, yeah, you do. Oh man, and so the boys like, we're gonna show that stuff.
Yeah, we are. You're gonna love it. But yeah, season 2. That's my favorite part is when the whole boat running into the boat running into the whale with the boat. I thought that was great. It was like so unique. Nobody's done that before. I would love to be in the writing room at that, and they're like, "All right, guys, they're on a boat. How do we like stop this boat? They're trying to get away. Have the Deep just come out and put a giant whale in front of them." Man, that's great.
And then also Huey just sitting in there. He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to go."
He's just sitting in the whale, just hanging out.
He's just like, I'm done.
I'm dead.
He's like, I'm done. He's like, I don't care anymore. And then and then MM crawls inside the whale. And he's like, well, if you're not going, I'm not going. He's like, son of a bitch.
God dang it.
And then he's like, yeah. So then he goes. My favorite characters, probably through both seasons, are probably Frenchie and Kimiko. They're probably some of my favorite characters.
You don't like Butcher?
I mean, I love Butcher, but I mean, but
you like. Wait, hold on. You like Frenchie more than you like Butcher?
Well, I like Butcher a lot, but the thing is, Frenchie and Kimiko are the only like kind of good characters in the show, like who are like anywhere on the good side of things. Like
they're not good, man. They're not good.
Kimiko and Frenchie are the goodest people in the show.
You really?
Everyone else is like on the chaotic evil side of things.
Yeah, I think Starlight is the best character, the nicest character. She's really the only one that's still, trying to do the right thing.
I don't know. I think Frenchie and Kimiko are too. I mean, season 2 Kimiko not so much, but season 3 Kimiko definitely.
Yeah, but she's still like straight up murdering people, and Frenchie's like doing drugs and making nerve agents and stuff. I mean, he's still like not the greatest.
No, but I mean, but they're all their moral compass is more like generally in the better area. Where Butcher is just like scorched. He says scorched earth so many times.
Scorched earth.
He says it almost as many times.
Bruv.
Yeah, he's big on to that. So it's just he's got no morals left anymore.
Well, okay, hold on. Well, we got to back it up here a little bit. Let's kind of talk about season 2 before we jump into season 3, because I feel like that's going to be where the most of our conversation goes. So for season 2, the villain is going to be Stormfront. They kind of introduced her randomly, like they did. Same thing with Soldier Boy for the most part. And she gets this crazy following, and it turns out that she's pretty powerful. Like she's up there with Homelander.
She was one of the first ships made because she married the German guy in Nazi Germany who came up with the superpower serum.
Yeah.
And she's gone under different names because for whatever reason she doesn't age.
No, she wasn't aging. So they did that. She was kind of the villain going around doing villain stuff, but she got this massive following on social media because she knew, which I love about this show, is that they lean into like how our real life is, like how we deal with social media and like commercials and how political stuff happens. It's like they take this weird stuff that happens in real life and like exaggerate it even more where it's funny. And she does. That's where I think it's where it starts. Is pretty much where Stormfront. She kind of uses social media to say she's an amazing person.
Yeah, and she calls out, she just kind of speaks her mind. Like she's very Trumpian, and the way she uses social media to like manipulate the masses to be on her side. And then that kind of transfers to Homelander in season 3 a little bit.
It does transfer a little bit.
A lot. Just some of the things he says is very much. But I mean, he also was involved with Stormfront. So basically, they take out Stormfront at the end of season 2. There's like throughout season 2, there's like the girls get it done thing. They find out Maeve is a lesbian. They find out Maeve has had a girlfriend in the past, so they try to pivot her. Vought tries to pivot her hard to be like the face.
You're a lesbian now.
The face of lesbianism for Vought and for the Seven. They try to just pivot it really hard. To that, just because everything is so like corrupt and like let's market it and try to profit off this, or whatever they do. Like it's like they make a lot of like jabs at things in season 2 and especially season 3 at the beginning. It's like it's like how are they not getting sued by Disney? Because they actually mentioned Vought Plus a couple times in season 2 also.
Yeah, they do.
They Vought Plus. They've got like the mock up like Vought World instead of Disney World at the beginning, and everything is like LGBTQ like I themed, like burgers and coffee and whatever, like candy. It was very jab at Disney, like super hard.
Yeah, it was. Jab at just like real life. Everything kind of rolls into like what a lot of people I don't think know is in The Boys they'll have like you'll go on the news and the superhero will be doing like an interview, or they'll just be talking about the people on the news or something like that. All those like clips that we kind of get just a clip of that clip, they upload those to YouTube where you can watch the whole interview with like Homelander, instead of just like you just get like that 30 seconds of Homelander being interviewed. You can get the whole interview and they put them up on YouTube. I thought that I found that out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, yeah, they were doing like news segments to like advertise the new season also. Like there'd be like news clips of like their news guy talking and whatever in the Vought news world or whatever, and
or like another one.
Those were some of the previews for this season.
Yeah, another one they had was the Deep was doing an advertisement for something in the show. I don't remember if I think it was in season 2. He was doing an advertisement for something, and they took his advertisement and instead of just showing like the 5 seconds of it in the show and whatever episode it was in season 2, they uploaded the whole advertisement to the YouTube channel. So it's kind of cool. It's a little inside knowledge, a little bit more lore if you're interested.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that all the like social stuff they do with the boys and tied into more real life and YouTube and everything. It makes a lot of sense. It's very well done, and in that respect, season 2. Getting back to that, it mostly focuses on Stormfront. They run into Lamplighter because they're trying to stabilize the V, because they want to give the V out and get like a perfect superhero every time, because right now the effects are random and you can get crappy superheroes, not crappy superheroes, which is kind of where the Boys Diabolical show comes in, because they show like a whole like unwanted kids with like crap superpowers that are basically worthless.
So wait, in the timeline of The Boys, where does Diabolical come in? Is it just kind of whatever?
It's probably a prequel.
Is it even canonical?
I don't know if it's canonical to the show. It's probably prequel or simultaneous to season 1.
Okay.
But I guess it doesn't super matter because a lot of it doesn't super tie in. I mean, they do show. I don't think it's canonical because they have Queen Maeve flying and she doesn't fly in the show.
No, not to our knowledge, she doesn't. Well, now she definitely won't now, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, season 2 was pretty solid. Kimiko, she finds her brother. He's a soup terrorist, and there's like a big thing with the soup terrorists because they had the explodey guy in season 1. At the very beginning, Black Noir goes and just straight up murders him.
Yep, in the middle of the desert. or middle desert house.
he withstands an explosion that the guy can make, which is interesting because his explosion is kind of similar to what Soldier Boy does, except for that, I guess it doesn't take your powers away.
It
was just like this seems like a power we've seen before, but it works differently for some reason. So
it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
that was just explosion. Soldier Boy does radiation damage. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Radiation. Yeah, they should just get a microwave and blast Homelander with a microwave.
Maybe that'll work.
Maybe. Let's do it.
Maybe that'll the only other thing in season 2 that's big is obviously Stormfront gets defeated eventually towards the end, is the kid. The Homelander's son is kind of annoying, and I don't like him.
Yeah, he's pretty
kind
bad.
of the reason for all this. He's kind of the reason. There's a problem here.
Yeah, because Homelander raped Billy Butcher's wife, wanted to keep the son away from Homelander. They sent her away and didn't let Billy know that, she was still alive. Stormfront's trying to basically straight up murder her mom because the boy doesn't want to go with Stormfront. So the boy shoots Stormfront with his laser eyes, and he doesn't have any cap on the power. Totally messes up Stormfront, and then slits his mom's throat with his laser beam somehow.
Yep.
And something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how her throat got cut, because Stormfront's perfectly cauterized, and Butcher's wife is just got a slit in her throat somehow.
Well, Butcher's wife is a human.
Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't you get cauterized?
Stormfront is not.
Yeah.
A human.
That's
She's like
true.
the durability of Homelander.
That's true. Every time Homelander, they just melt. They don't really get cauterized, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I'm chalking it up to.
So
yeah, that's kind of season 2.
That follows. I mean, yeah, it was pretty good. It had its ups and downs. Kimiko went total apeshit crazy for a while during season 2. She's
going wild.
Just murdering people for money. She eventually calms down, and she teaches Frenchie how to read sign language, and then they talk about dancing, which is interesting because they dance a bunch in season 3, and then they actually had mentioned it in season 2. Oh, okay, it follows because
there's foreshadowing there. There's foreshadowing.
There's foreshadowing. I started watching season 2 again halfway through watching season 3. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why they're dancing so much and talking about dancing so much, because it was mentioned past season. So bravo. It didn't come out of nowhere.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Any last thoughts on season 2 before we move on to season 3? I mean, I feel like we covered the big story beats. I think that was our goal, because we can't fully dive into season 2 because we also need to dive into season 3.
So basically the way they rein in Homelander at the end of season 2, this is the big plot point, is that they Maeve has the footage from the plane where they abandoned in season 1, and they're going to release it to the world if Homelander doesn't do what they want. So basically they're able to take the kid away from him and put Starlight back into the 7. That's the big takeaway at the end of season 2. Leading into season 3.
There's a video that's going to kill Homelander's career.
Ooh.
There's a video. Enter season 3 of The Boys.
The Boys.
So, what? What do you got?
Oh, yeah. Huey goes and works for the woman revealed as the head popper. Because they're trying to take down Soups the correct way.
The correct way, of course. Politically is the best way, obviously.
Politically, yes.
That won't cause any trouble.
Never.
So, moving in, I guess, to season 3, just off the top with our head popper lady, she doesn't have too much going on this season. We find out that Stan Edgar is kind of like her father figure type of thing going on.
I believe she thinks she's his biological daughter, but apparently she's not. She's adopted, I guess.
Yeah, she gets adopted. And she's just working her way up the political ladder, I guess, trying to get into a higher power of office, and that's kind of her story this season. She doesn't have much more going on.
Yeah, we see her a lot in the first couple episodes. I mean, her big thing is she does end up betraying Stan Edgar to Homelander, so Homelander becomes CEO of Vought, which is
the worst. I think that's my least favorite thing they did this season. Stan Edgar, I can't think of the name actor. He's got a weird name that I can never remember.
He's the chicken man from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, the chicken man. But he is fantastic, and I'm sad they got rid of him because he felt like anytime he would talk to Homelander, he'd be the only one that could stand up to Homelander and like
just
put Homelander in his place.
Just talk so much shit to his face, and then
he would just take it.
Yeah, Homelander would just take it. Yeah, it was great. So it's a little bit sad. I mean, he's not dead. He's just removed from the show. Yeah, he's just gone. And then pretty much after that, we don't see Head Popper Lady till like the last couple seconds of the season.
Well, she's around. She doesn't have any like points. Like she'll be in the background, or she'll like there was a scene where her and Starlight were talking because Starlight went to go visit Huey in the office. So she's around, but she doesn't really do much except head pop somebody right at like the start of the season, and the Vought just cleans it up. That's really all she does this season. She pops one head. I don't think she pops any more than one.
She threatens to pop Starlight and Huey's head, but doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't do that. But I don't think that's all about for her. I think really.
Yeah.
Another thing is A-Train. I'll talk A-Train because I'm a big fan of these fast guys. These fast guys, because as we all know, super speed is super overpowered.
Except for in A-Train's case, because he's got a heart condition and running kills him.
Yeah. So A-Train is kind of down on his luck a little bit. He can't run anymore. Homelander's poking fun at him.
He literally can't do one thing right in his entire life.
Yeah, he's messing everything up, just like the Deep is. But he finally gets to a new heart, I guess, before we really dive into those episodes. He gets a new heart and he gets his powers back, which is cool. That's something I like. He was talked about early on in the show, so I wanted to bring that up early on in this talking about. What about there's another thing with Kimiko. Her whole arc really is she doesn't like having her superpowers.
She thinks her powers make her bad.
Yeah. And we gotta back up a little bit here. Is they need to kill Homelander, and they have a lead. The boys do, that being Butcher and Hugh and all them. They have a lead on how do we kill Homelander. They find out about this Homelander before Homelander character called Soldier Boy, who was kind of pretty much just Homelander, except without, to our knowledge, the laser eyes and flight.
He's Captain America.
Yeah, he's Captain. Okay, I didn't even think of that comparison. Yeah, he's Captain America.
He literally has the shield.
I know. Now I'm gonna hear about this for months. I didn't even think about Captain America.
He's
basically Captain America.
He's basically Captain America. Starlight.
Literally Captain America. His powers are the same.
Except he's got the weird exploding chest thing. But I mean, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think the Russians did that too. I don't think he had that before. I think the Russians messing with him is what gave him that. Maybe.
Well, it's a real powerful move.
Those
Russians gave him some powerful move. So the boys are trying to seek out information on like what happened to Soldier Boy. He was the strongest. Like what happened to him, and they find out that he actually didn't die yet. He's being experimented on in Russia. So naturally, the boys go to Russia, and
he's frozen just like Captain America was.
Yeah, he was frozen just like Captain America since the 30s. No. Since like the 60s, 70s, I don't know when the heck Soldier Boy exactly was alive, but around that time, 70s, it was definitely in the 70s. But after they get Soldier Boy out, Butcher and Huey have a little surprise. Butcher and Huey, Vought is developing a temporary superpower thing that Stan Edgar wanted to sell to the government for X amount of money. It was something ridiculous. It was like it was like 25 million per shot or something like that, or 2 million per shot.
Yeah, because in season 2 they put on hold the regular V trials because they were going to try to sell the regular V to the government, but they just said after the Stormfront thing, they said it was not going to work, and they weren't. So they, in the time between seasons, they developed a temporary V, which they were going to try and sell, which only gives you 24-hour superpowers instead of permanent superpowers.
Yes. And one thing to note about it is that it's very deadly, that you'll die if you take it too many times. However, we have not seen any repercussions from taking it, really, besides that you leak out of your ear.
And you vomit lots of green stuff.
Yes, and vomit green stuff. That's really all the repercussions we've seen, even though, according to the science papers that Stormlight saw when she had to go steal some, or was it V? Was it normal V? Or
it was temporary.
It was normal V.
No, it was temporary.
She was getting
V.
normal V for Kimiko.
Yes, because
yeah, we're tying it in. Tying it in.
Tying it in.
So they get this temporary V, and Butcher takes it and becomes Homelander, I guess.
Yeah,
his powers are Homelander.
Except for he doesn't fly, or he doesn't know he can fly if he can't. I don't know. Yeah, it's basically Homelander. Laser eyes, super strength. I just don't know why he doesn't just try to kill Homelander by himself, because it was a bizarre thing that happened in like the first or second episode, where like Homelander just comes to his place and he's like, "We're gonna fight each other to the death one day."
Yeah, well, if they did that, then the whole show's done. So they're not going to do that right now. Come on, David.
I know.
Stop being the fun police.
I know they weren't going to do it then, but they mentioned it was just a bizarre scene. It was really strange. That Homelander just came over and was like, "Yeah."
It's foreshadowing to season 12 of The Boys.
I actually kind of hope next season is the last season, because I don't want 3 more seasons of them spinning their wheels.
I'm getting a little, that's what we'll get into, is that I'm getting a little worried that, where are we going with this, guys? Where are we going?
Yeah.
But so Huey wants the temporary V, so he kind of takes it. Butcher's all in. Huey's powers is that he teleports.
He always teleports that is close.
Yeah, because you can only teleport yourself, which makes sense.
Or whoever you're hanging on to, but aren't clothes hanging on to you?
Maybe it's only biological. Only things that are biological. Maybe he needs biological clothing now. He needs plant clothing. Mm-hmm. Biological. That's my guess.
Mushroom clothing.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
So if he teleported Paul Stamets' hat would have come with him, but nothing else.
Oh my god. Okay, so they go Russia. They're losing, and then Butcher decides that he doesn't want to lose anymore, so he just goes out and becomes Homelander and just laser beams everybody to death. And they get Homelander out, or not Homelander. They get Soldier Boy out of his test tube. And they see that, they've been experimenting on him, even though he still looks like a pristine human being, like Captain America would. Mm-hmm. And he just has this ability to, like, shoot a bomb out of his chest.
And it takes away Super's powers, and then it just vaporizes everything else.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not weak. It's a very strong ability that he really can blow up some stuff. And I guess the side effect is if you get hit by it, you lose your powers, because this is where Kimiko loses her powers. And she almost dies, David. Did you think she was going to die?
I was worried she was going to die.
I thought she was going to die.
Well, because, Frenchie and her made plans to go, to go leave and go off on their own because they're in love or whatever. Yeah. And then it's like, it's like in a movie or a TV show, when people make, like, romantic plans and it's like a show like The Boys, usually someone dies, and I was actually surprised that neither one. I figured Frenchie would get killed because he was human, and she had the power where nothing kills her basically, and then all of a sudden that was ripped from her. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, well, turns out she didn't die. She just had a minor inconvenience.
Minor inconvenience, and her powers are restored to her by the end of the season. Like it's.
Yeah, and so. Soldier Boy's out on the loose now, man. He's free. He can do whatever he wants. He finally got out of the Russian prison. And the first thing he does and goes and starts to kill his own teammate that he had back in the 70s, 80s, whenever the heck that was. And he starts hunting them down one by one.
His version of the 7.
his version of the Seven. He starts hunting them down. Butcher and Huey decide that they're going to try to form an alliance because once his original teammates are dead, they're going to go for Homelander. And they agree to it. They're hunting down a bunch of these soups, a bunch of these old soups. And this is kind of where we get into the good episodes a little bit here. There's some side stuff going on with, Starlight being like, I'm not part of the Seven anymore. And then she uses her like social media presence to like become like they said how many followers she had or how many viewers she had. It was like something astronomical. It was like, I feel like they said something in like the trillions or like high billions.
Well, she like surpassed Homelander by a lot. She became like co-leader of the Seven with Homelander, and Homelander was like losing his mind about it. He was off saying very, very like Trump-esque thing. Like he basically went off on like a very Trumpish rant, and his numbers went up. It was very. They patched the torch from Starlight to Homelander.
Also, they make fun of a lot of stuff. Like a couple of years ago, there was that Pepsi commercial where you give the police a Pepsi and they're like, "Oh, we don't need any violence anymore." They copied that commercial that was in our world and just recreated it in The Boys. I thought that was pretty cool that they're starting to do that, which makes me. We'll get to this, but I want to know what you think is going to happen in the next season, and I feel like I know what's going to happen.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I you know what's going to happen in the next season? They're going to go after Head Popper. They're going to kill Head Popper, but somehow they're going to walk away from Homelander, and Homelander is going to walk away from them. And then, God willing, the season after that, they'll finally kill Homelander. Although I hope they can wrap it up all next season, because I feel like they're definitely. I mean, they've given Butcher a very small window. Usually, there's a bigger window in between seasons. So basically, because they gave Butcher such a small window of life, I feel like they're gonna have to pick it up real quick, especially if they're gonna be 2 seasons more, or I don't know how many they're doing.
I don't know either.
I kind of hope they're done next time, but we'll see.
We will see. I don't know. So Soldier Boy's going around killing his people, and he finds out that he is in fact Homelander's son. Or no, not son. Backwards. Father. He's Homelander's father.
I am your baby's father.
Now, this was a big news. This is some big news. We don't actually have confirmation. We don't know how he knows that. He kind of just gets a note from one of his previous teammates that can, like, I don't know, trap you in a nightmare. I don't know exactly what his powers were. Mm-hmm. Just trapping somebody in a nightmare. And after he gets trapped in a nightmare, he gets out and Soldier Boy is about to kill him, and he gets a note from him, or I don't know exactly how that exchange happens where he finds out. I'm assuming that's where it was, because he reads something and then he's like, all right, let's go. And he's telling that to Butcher and Huey. And I think that's where he finds out that he's Homelander's father, but we don't have confirmation of that yet, because it is said later on that I think Butcher says he's like, you're not actually his biological father.
Well, he's just a sperm donor.
Yeah.
Because Homelander was grown in a test tube. But I mean, you would probably take the most powerful superhero and then take his seed and, improve upon it. Because I mean, they made him fly and gave him laser vision.
That is true.
So
you just need to give him a shield.
Give him 2 shields.
2 shields. He's double strong. So there's that. And now they're finished hunting down his old teammates. And this is where the sad one happens,
except for Black Noir. Black Noir is the last.
You want to tell us a little bit about Black Noir here?
Black Noir is insane. So actually, I think all the soups are insane, because we also, before we see Black Noir go insane, we have Homelander talking to himself in a mirror, where he's like the egotistical evil person is like the inside that like takes control. He's got like split personality or something, where like, he's kind of a weak and timid person naturally, but he's got some kind of like weird monster inside of him that usually runs the show. Like, it's like, I feel like this and the Black Noir things were probably the biggest revelations in the season, as far as I guess character growth goes for anyone. Learning like how we knew they were deeply flawed, they were terrible people, but we're seeing a new level of how flawed these people are. Where Homelander's like multiple personality crazy person talking to himself, and Black Noir has a bunch of imaginary friends that manifest as cartoon characters from his favorite showbiz pizza type pizzeria. So like it's very it's a very Snow White and the Seven Dwarves-esque. He's got all these animal friends, and they talk to him and they give him pep talks, and man, that was something special. That was pretty good.
It was pretty good. However, he is the last surviving member of Soldier Boy's crew, and Soldier Boy does not get the opportunity to kill him because Black Noir doesn't make it out of this season. Now,
No.
I think he's going to come back, hopefully. Because...
How?
Well, doesn't he have, like, regeneration powers? Here's what I want to happen.
His
Next
powers
season,
are...
Dan Egger, Black Noir, back at it again. That's what I want. I think that'd be cool to bring back.
I mean, we didn't bring back Herogasm. Herogasm was probably the funniest episode of the season.
Yes. Herogasm.
And the greatest part is they made the same joke twice, and it was funny both times. Or like basically two different sets of people talking about how, man, Frenchie's going to be so sad that he missed Herogasm or whatever. They both, like, two different sets of people mention it, and it's still like pretty good both times. And also MM gets a little bit of something on his jacket, and he's trying to find a bathroom.
Oh God, that was so gross, dude. I'm like, when I was watching that episode, I'm almost gagging to myself.
I laughed the hardest at that point because he's so mad because he got a little bit of slime on his leather jacket. He opens the door and he gets a full body facial.
He gets a full experience.
He gets a full body experience, just covered in the white stuff. Oh my!
Oh God! You laughed at that? I was like, man. Oh my God, that is disgusting, dude.
I mean, it was disgusting, but it was just he got a little bit of stuff on his jacket. So the humor is he gets completely covered in it. Like, it was great. It's like, you know, it's just you're just escalating, and that was a very bonkers scene. Lots of stuff going on in that scene.
The Herogasm thing was very bonkers. What Herogasm is basically all the soups.
B tier soups.
Yeah, B, C tier, D tier soups get together and they kind of just have an orgy and there's like 700 of them all in this like house, and it is disgusting. I would not ever want to be in a situation like that. It was too much. Too much for me. You
don't want to do an orgy with a guy with like an 18 foot long dick?
No, man, what? Not into that. Not into that at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, that's gross.
Well, speaking of dicks, we forgot about the first episode where the guy crawled into one and exploded him when he sneezed because he had too much cocaine.
Let's backtrack a little bit about there. So that guy, we got man, this is also really gross to me too. This guy that can shrink, like he's Ant-Man.
Yeah, he's Ant-Man. He's Ant-Man.
He's actually a stronger Ant-Man because Ant-Man has to like press a button and like to grow, he has to like, this guy can just do it. He's just got the ability to do it.
He can do it naked too.
Yeah, he can do it naked.
And his boyfriend's like, I want to feel you inside of me. And like, it wasn't what we thought.
No. So I will say I'm not sure we'll ever watch another show where a character shrinks down and goes inside somebody's dick hole and it looks like a cave. I don't think we'll ever see another show that does that.
The Cave of Wonders.
Yeah, that's the Cave of Wonders, man. And he sneezes
because he just had some cocaine, and then he grows, and then he explodes the guy.
Yep.
Whoa! And the thing is, I as soon as he was there, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna explode the dude. Like, The Boys is good, but at this point, it's very predictable. So I really hope they kind of like end next season. They kind of wrap things up and finish it next season, because like, and also at the end of the first episode when like Huey's following Head Popper, it's like, oh man, I bet he's gonna get covered in blood. He didn't necessarily get covered in blood like the way he usually does, but it did kind of rain on him. So like the show's getting like almost too predictable, and like where you think they'll push the boundaries, they do. Like nothing like super shocked me this season, especially after like the growing inside a penis after shrinking. Nothing was surprising after that. It's like, well, that's gonna happen. That's gonna.
Well, okay. Once a dude shrinks down and goes in another dude's dick, I mean, what is on the table to even predict?
There's no limits. It's like, yeah, not surprising. You know, it's just
what is on the table. There's nothing left.
There's nothing left. It's done.
Yeah. So at Herogasm is when my favorite scene of The Boys happens is when it is. This is before Homelander knows that Soldier Boy is his dad. They have a little scuffle with Soldier Boy, Homelander, and Butcher, and they have a little fight. Oh no, there's a third person there. Is it MM?
MM's just there, yeah.
Somebody was holding him down. There's 3 people holding him down. Before, wasn't there 3 people holding him down?
It was Butcher, Homelander.
Was it Starlight?
Maybe Starlight. Oh, Huey teleported her away.
Yeah, but didn't she go back?
I think after the house exploded, she got back.
Either way, they start having a fight, and this is where we can finally see, like, oh my gosh, Homelander is like, we see a limit here. There's a limit. This is the first limit we've seen Homelander where he gets punched in the face and he bruises. So it's like that scene from Batman vs Superman. Do you bleed? Do you bleed? He didn't start bleeding, but like we finally got to see Homelander, who this character is a little bit, that he actually can take damage. And to that point, Anthony Starr is the actor who plays Homelander. I watched a couple interviews with him, and I'll tell you, man, this dude needs to win like an Emmy or whatever the highest award is in the land for his portrayal of Homelander, because this dude, he's like scary to watch in a interview. It's like, he's scary to watch because it's like, oh my god, he's gonna turn around and kill people. Like, there's the way he talks, his mannerisms, like he's really done a super good job with this character, because now he got hit with the Star Wars thing where it's like Mark Hamill, it's like, oh, that's Luke. Like, you can't escape it. I don't know that Anthony Starr is going to be able to escape him being Homelander, because he's just terrifying to a normal interview at Comic-Con. He's just terrifying to like hear talk, because it's like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna kill somebody?
Is he gonna murder me? Yeah, I would be scared of him in real life, probably, because he is.
Also,
intense.
I didn't know he's from New Zealand. He has an accent. He's not American. I didn't know that. So yeah, he's pretty terrifying in real life as well.
And they did a really good job of casting this season, because the kid looks a lot like Homelander, and Jensen Ackles, who plays Soldier Boy, he kind of resembles them too. Like they look close enough to, like, they could. I can see them being. I can see the family tree there, a little bit. They did really good casting.
They did have good casting. Yeah. So Homelander gets out. He's like, okay, I can't. He's like, I can't win this fight. So he just flies away and gets out and puts Maeve in a cage, and then he becomes. This is where I'm struggling. This is the scene, because we briefly talked about how Huey and Butcher become the bad guys. I don't see how this show is going to make them worse than Homelander. I don't think you can. I think Homelander he's like, that's the guy. I mean, Huey and Butcher can become bad guys, and maybe we won't want them around, because I already don't like either character as it is. So making it worse won't do too much for me. But Homelander is like, that guy's definitely the one. Like, you're not going to make a whole series off trying to kill Huey and Butcher. I think that, like, Homelander's the guy, man. That's why I think it's going to depart from, like, the series a little bit.
Oh, the original comics. I mean, maybe, but I mean, like, at the beginning of the season, we had Butcher pushing the kid away so Butcher wouldn't get the kid hurt. But pushing the kid away makes the kid open up to Homelander. So now we've got the whole point was to let the kid get strong enough so he could fight Homelander, and now the kid's like totally on Homelander's side, completely.
Yeah.
So we got big problems for like the future because I mean, you had 2 Homelanders. That's
And he's being trained by Homelander, who's already a crazy psychopath.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously okay. So, and I'm going into like my predictions here. The last episode, the finale, is I think where we got a little bit disappointed, where it kind of made the whole season a filler season, because ultimately nothing mattered. Not much mattered. A little bit. There are some stuff that mattered, but Soldier Boy didn't die. Homelander wasn't fought. Starlight wasn't hurt. Like Frenchie got shot. Kimiko got her powers back. It's kind of like nothing really changed here except unity. They're now united to kill Homelander.
I guess, but I thought they were already kind of united to kill Homelander before. Like,
They're more united.
Killing Homelander's been like
the goal since
season one. Yeah, and I mean the only thing that really changed this season was that, I mean, A-Train's fixed, so A-Train will be back at the full power next season.
Which I will keep your eye out for that dude. I'm telling you, man, these fast people, they're really strong.
The Black Noir's dead, but Black Noir doesn't really do a whole lot anyway. So I mean, like,
that's pretty disappointing to me. That Homelander. So Black Noir knew that Homelander's father was Soldier Boy, and he didn't tell him. But it felt like a waste. A lot of people loved Black Noir as a character just because it's Black Noir.
I mean, he was funny. He was funny.
Cool.
He always had like, he always had the right notes. Or
yeah, people
he
liked
was just
him.
like a ruthless killer. I mean, his scenes were cool. Like when he assassinated those people in season 2, it was amazing. But he doesn't really do much as a character. He's just kind of there. He's kind of funny because he doesn't talk.
Yeah, but he just dies here. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I want them to bring him back because I feel like we didn't fully understand like Black Noir as a character. We got a little bit of a flashback to when he was on Soldier Boy's team, but that didn't really give us much. I don't really know exactly what his powers are. I don't know. I mean, is he just like durability, and besides durability, he's just a ninja? Like, I don't know what his powers are. We don't know too much.
He's just relatively durable. It's weird. The superheroes' powers in the show are inconsistent, or hard, or they're not super well defined, because you've got some superheroes that can withstand, heat vision, because Soldier Boy took Butcher's heat vision to the face and didn't scratch him.
It did scratch him. He got like a crossed.
Oh, I thought that was there before.
No, I'm pretty sure that was from the laser.
Oh, okay. Well, he got nicked.
He like deflected it off like it wasn't a problem. Like it was not a big deal that he got hit by it.
Not a big deal at all. And then other people, like other soups, like Gunpowder, just cut through him like he was a regular person. So there's a huge power level between the people. And Starlight is basically Jubilee from the X-Men. She is
useless, man. She is so useless.
She doesn't have much power.
Yeah, every time Starlight gets like upset, her eyes turn to that like light in her eyes, and she never ends up doing it. She's like, careful. And her eyes turn to this like light color, and that's all she does. In the final episode, we're finally gonna see her do something wild. Like something crazy.
Yeah, Huey turns up all the lights to give her
all
more
the
power.
Lights. She's absorbing it all. She looks like the sun. And it turns out it's just a little push.
It just knocks over. Knocks them over.
They took all the VFX. I saw a meme. They took all the VFX from Stormlight's finale scene and put them into octopus sex.
Good old the Deep. I think one of the other parts I laughed hardest at was it wasn't the part where he's proposing a threesome with the octopus and his wife, but when she's on the talk show and her book is called In Too Deep, and she's like covered in seaweed and stuff like that. That made me laugh pretty good. Like the title of the book with the picture, it was really good. I was like, oh,
The Deep is a funny character.
The Deep always like all the funniest stuff is usually like Deep adjacent.
Yeah, the Deep is always around. He's around for these situations. Now, I think. Okay, so final ending thoughts, at least from what I got, is Soldier Boy is captured by I don't know the government, CIA, I don't know, somebody. They capture him and put him back in a tube, or like that sleeping tube. I don't know what it's called.
I think just Vought takes him, puts him back in a tube.
Oh, he's in Vought slant.
Probably.
Okay, well, wherever he is,
he fell down right next to the Vought building.
Yeah, I guess Vought could have him.
Because Queen Maeve tackles him, he goes nuclear, blows. I thought she was dead, because, I mean, if she lost her power and then fell, it seems like she would, be deadish. But she's not dead.
I think she's done. Her story's done. She's not coming back.
Yeah, she goes off with her girlfriend, and they go off the grid or whatever. So, I mean, like, that's fine. Starlight is now, like, 100% in with the boys, even though she's basically been since season 2.
She's been flipping back between is she in the 7, out of the 7, and the boys. Is she in the boys? Is she out of the boys?
Yeah, now she's
she found her home.
Now she's solidly in with the boys. Kamiko and Frenchie don't want to leave anymore. I mean, like, it was good. I mean, the episodes were pretty good. Like we said, episodes 6 and 7 were some of probably the best episodes of the boys. Just bonkers and really funny. But I think my biggest problem, like we kind of said up top, is that it just doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, and I don't want the show to drag out. It's a good show, and it needs to end while it's still good. I don't want it to be dragged out, and it just be like spinning the wheels.
This season getting a little bit of that dragging out here.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely started to feel it this season, and like also like some of the political commentary wasn't like super meaningful. I mean, we had like the Stormfront Trump thing last season, and then we kind of moved it on to Anthony Starr, him doing those Trumpisms, but it didn't really say anything other than Trump bad. They didn't really like go any deeper or like have anything else to say about it. I just wish it was a little bit more nuanced and like what they're getting at, because we knew Homelander was bad before they started, equating him to Donald Trump. So I mean, like.
Yeah, man.
What else are we trying to say here? What's...
There's nothing more to say. It's Homelander needs to die now.
But I mean, that's been the thing. So like, I just wish it was a little bit deeper with what their messaging was, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of just lackluster.
Yeah, I agree.
It didn't do a lot. I mean, like, if you make a political message, like, make it have like more of a point than stating the obvious. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just stating the obvious, it's not much of a point, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's just kind of my feelings on it. It's just like, I wish they would have done something more with it, like made it more funny. It was just really dark. It was just, I mean, the show's always been dark, but it's always been like kind of balanced with funny stuff. And for me, like the funny stuff was kind of condensed in that episode 6 and 7. And the rest of it was pretty like, it was darker than I think the last 2 seasons overall.
Agreed.
Not as humorous. And I think I just saw like an interview like the other day, or Eric Kripke, the showrunner. He apparently doesn't have like a 6-season arc planned. He's just doing it season by season, which maybe that's why it feels like it's spinning its wheels. It's just kind of sad when you don't like have like a plan for the show. You just kind of like do it season by season instead of like, having an idea. I mean, I understand
they're in a tough spot. Mm-hmm. They're in a tough spot. This show's making a ton of money, and if they just end it, then they stop making that money, rather than ending it normally, and they'll still not have money. So Amazon's probably telling them, hey, another season now, do it now. You can't continue the show if you don't give us another season. And he might want to be like, okay, it's over, but Amazon's like, no. So it's a hard battle when it comes to money. Money ruins a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
but no different for our shows.
But it's just kind of depressing, because I mean, The Expanse was doing well, but they didn't give us the last 3 seasons of that. Like, it stopped, at the 6th book instead of going on to 7, 8, 9. So that's weird. That show's been stellar. It's been fantastic. Even with like them being shorter seasons, they've still kept up how good they were. Wheel of Time was a giant mess. I'm scared the Rings of Power is going to be an even bigger mess.
Or the new Game of Thrones show.
Well, I'm talking about Amazon specifically.
Oh yeah, okay.
Keeping it in the Amazon because you're saying The Boys is making money, so they're gonna keep on making The Boys. But I mean, like, you're gonna have diminishing returns if it keeps feeling like filler. Like if the next season's filler, it's gonna be like a 5. You know what I mean? Like, this season was like just starting it, so like I can forgive it a little bit. But if we're gonna do like
another one of nothing happening,
if we're gonna do another season where like Homelander and Butcher just walk away from each other in the last episode, like,
yeah,
if we do that 2 or 3 more times, if we do it one more time, it's gonna be upsetting. If we do it 2 or 3 more times, I don't know if I'm gonna be interested in the show anymore, because I mean, there's only so many dicks
I won't be.
There's only so many dicks you can crawl up inside before it gets old, right?
Yeah, I think 0's too many. Zero's enough.
I mean, like,
zero's enough.
Like, I mean, like, at this point, The Boy feels like it's only there to like to push the limits of TV. I don't know if you can go any further. You know what I mean? So I mean,
well, we'll have to wait and find out. I will say, the episode that when we watch Homelander just die, it's gonna be a great day. It's going to be a good day when that guy finally dies. It's going to be spectacular. He's not just going to get like shot in the head or something. Something wild's going to happen. This dude's going to like, probably all his clothes are going to like burn off or something. He's going to be marred, scarred, charred, all of it. And I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have the bad guy kind of go out and a good.
Yeah, don't have him go out like just a little easy thing. Make this dude like, you know, suffer a little bit, you know. He's doing a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah, it needs to go down, and you know, I enjoy the show, but I mean, if you got too much of a good thing, it could kind of, you know, turn out bad, and that's what I'm scared for The Boys. I don't want it to wear out its welcome. Although unfortunately for my wife, it's already worn out her welcome for her. She's like, she's not gonna watch next season. I'm gonna watch it, and if I think it's good, she might watch it, but. For some people, the show's already worn out its welcome. So, I mean, I don't want it to wear out its welcome for me. I want it to wrap up nicely the next season, but I'm scared it won't.
Yeah. I think we've reached our end of The Boys. Unless you have anything else. I got everything I need to get out.
Well, how about you? Are you thinking next season would be
I feel the same. I feel exactly the same way as you. Like, literally exactly the same. This is what I wanted to end on, and you stole it from me. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't know if you had a different thing to say.
No, I feel like it's like I have notes on my monitor here, and you literally just like outlined my notes.
I just said your notes like word for word, just like well, we're not screen sharing or anything. We just have the same exact thoughts on that. But yeah,
that way. Thor's up next. I think I'm pretty sure Thor's up next.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see that.
We're late to the party on that.
Well, I mean,
that's okay.
But hey, the Boys just ended, so I mean, we're pretty solid.
We give with things just ending, and sometimes we don't just give. We just randomly will do something that's old.
Well, I mean, it's just the way it drops, and unfortunately, again, we're sorry about Kenobi being eaten by the internet gods, but you know.
Yeah, sometimes the internet gods win. If something gets corrupted and you lose it, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, until next time, guys.
Synthaholics@yahoo.com. I got it this time.
You got it. I'm not stealing that one from you this time, Ryan. Oh, actually, I didn't steal it last time because no one knows.
Oh, that's true. For everybody, David stole my line.
On the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
I'm the Yahoo guy.
He's taking me to court next week for taking his line.
Defamation. I don't even know if that works. Yeah,
no, it's probably copyright infringement, not defamation.
It might. Well, sure, we'll go with that one. Whatever will get me money.
Did you copyright it though?
Yeah.
That's convincing. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for watching and listening, and wherever you are, do the things. Subscribe, like, follow, all those fun things, so you can see us next time when we do show up on the ye old internets. So, may the boys be with you.
And also with you.
And also with you. And don't forget the hero gasm. See ya.
Bye.